Have you ever wondered why some people seem to thrive, no matter what life throws at them? They might face the same challenges, the same obstacles, and yet they move forward, seemingly untouched by the struggles that weigh others down. At the same time, we see others who, despite having the same opportunities, constantly struggle. They feel stuck, overwhelmed, and life seems like an uphill battle they can never quite win. What is it that separates these two types of people? What if I told you that the real difference isn't in what they have? It's not about their background, their education, or even their resources. The difference lies in something far more powerful. The difference is in how they think, because it's not the circumstances of our lives that determine our success, but the mindset with which we approach those circumstances. It's about the way we choose to view the world around us, the beliefs we hold, and how we decide to show up in our own lives. What if the key to changing our lives isn't about changing what we have, but about changing the way we think? How would that realization change the way you approach your day? How would it change the way you face difficulties? Because if you believe that it's what you think that truly shapes your life, then everything you need to create the life you want is already within you. You see, there are two kinds of mindsets that drive us. One that I call the rich mindset, and the other, the poor mindset. Now, when I say rich and poor, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about a mindset that either empowers you to live fully or one that limits you, keeping you stuck in patterns that hold you back. The rich mindset is expansive. It sees opportunities where others see obstacles. It embraces growth, knowing that every experience, whether it brings success or failure, is a step toward greater understanding and greater achievement. On the other hand, the poor mindset is narrow. It's defined by limitation. It's the voice that says, I can't, I'm not good enough, or life isn't fair. It's the mindset that sees failure as final, that blames the world for its struggles and waits for someone else to make things better. But here's the truth. Your mindset is a choice, and you can change it at any time. If you start seeing the world through the lens of abundance, gratitude, and possibility, your life will begin to reflect that belief. And if you stay stuck in the mindset of lack, fear, and self-doubt, then that's exactly what you'll experience, because we attract into our lives what we believe. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract good fortune? It's not luck, it's their mindset. They expect good things to happen, so they are open to the opportunities that present themselves. Even when they face challenges, they don't see it as the end. They see it as a lesson, a stepping stone to something greater. That's the rich mindset at work. Now, contrast that with someone who always seems to face the same problems, the same frustrations year after year. Their mindset tells them this is just the way life is. They believe they're stuck, and because that's their belief, they don't see the opportunities that could help them move forward. They get what they expect because they're not open to anything different. What kind of mindset are you carrying with you right now? Are you someone who expects good things, or do you find yourself expecting more of the same difficulties? Are you open to the idea that no matter where you are today, you have the power to think your way into a new reality? I know sometimes life can be tough. We all have moments when things don't go the way we want. But here's the difference between the rich mindset and the poor mindset. And the poor mindset doesn't give its power away. It doesn't blame others or the world or circumstances. Instead, it asks, what can I do with what I've been given? How can I turn this around? And that's where real strength lies, in taking ownership of your life and knowing that the power to change it is in your hands. Every moment of your life is shaped by the thoughts you think. Your mindset is like a lens through which you see the world. If that lens is clouded with doubt, fear, and negativity, then everything you look at will appear limited. But if your lens is clear, if it's focused on possibility, growth, and gratitude, then you'll begin to see opportunities you didn't notice before. You'll start to recognize that the world is full of abundance and that there's more than enough success, love, and happiness to go around. So, why do some people thrive while others struggle, even when they're given the same resources, the same opportunities? The answer lies in what they believe about themselves in the world. Do they believe that life is happening to them, or do they believe that they have the power to shape their own lives? That's the fundamental difference between the rich mindset and the poor mindset. It's the difference between living in a state of fear, waiting for something to go wrong, or living in a state of trust, knowing that whatever happens, you have the ability to respond in a way that leads to growth. Now, here's where I invite you to take a deep look at your own life. What beliefs are driving you? What stories do you tell yourself about what's possible for you? Because if those beliefs are keeping you stuck, today is the day to challenge them. Ask yourself, what if I could choose a different way of thinking? What if I could shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance? From fear to possibility? What would be possible for me then? This is the turning point, the moment where you get to decide. Will you continue to see the world through the old lens of limitation? Or will you step into the rich mindset that knows there's always more, always a way forward, always a solution? Begin to notice your thoughts. Pay attention to the stories you're telling yourself about who you are and what's possible for your life. And then if those stories don't serve you, rewrite them. Change your thinking, and you'll change your life. Because everything you need, everything you've been waiting for, is already inside you, just waiting for you to unlock it. I want you to take a moment and think about a time when something in your life didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a setback at work, a relationship that didn't turn out the way you hoped, or a goal that seemed to slip further away the more you tried to reach. In that moment, what was your first thought? Did you find yourself asking, why is this happening to me? Did you feel powerless, like life was somehow conspiring? We've all been there. It's human nature to feel frustrated when life doesn't go our way. But here's where the difference between a poor mindset and a rich mindset shows up, right in that moment when things go wrong. People with a rich mindset view money differently. They don't fear it or obsess over it. They understand that money is just energy. It's something that flows in and out of their lives. They know that by providing value, by being creative, by contributing, they can attract more of it. They trust in the abundance of the universe. But those with a poor mindset often live in a state of lack, always worried about not having enough, always holding on too tightly out of fear. Are you living with a mindset of abundance when it comes to money, or are you living in fear of scarcity? Do you see money as something that flows freely and can be created, or do you believe it's something you have to struggle for and cling to? And it's not just about money, it's about how we approach every part of our lives. People with a scarcity mindset also struggle with feelings of unworthiness. They believe that love, happiness, or success is something limited, something that they might not be worthy of receiving. But the rich mindset knows that we are all worthy, that there's more than enough joy, fulfillment, and success to go around, and that it's not a question of if you can have it, but when you allow yourself to receive it. Let's talk about the fear of failure for a moment, because that's another place where the scarcity mindset shows up. The poor mindset says, what if I fail? What if I lose everything? What if I'm not good enough? It's driven by the fear that failure is final, that it's a reflection of your worth. But the rich mindset sees failure as a part of the process. It understands that failure is simply feedback. It's not the end, it's a stepping stone to greater success. Imagine two people starting a business. One has a poor mindset, and the other has a rich mindset. The person with the poor mindset is terrified of losing money, so they play it safe. They don't take risks, and they're constantly worried about what could go wrong. Their focus is on what they might lose, not what they might gain. And because they're so focused on avoiding loss, they miss out on opportunities for growth. But the person with the rich mindset approaches things differently. They understand that starting a business involves risk, but they also know that there's endless potential. They take calculated risk because they believe in the abundance of opportunities. And even if they fail, they don't see it as a loss. They see it as a lesson, as a chance to learn and grow. And because they're not paralyzed by fear, they're able to see opportunities that others miss. So which mindset do you think leads to greater success? Which one allows for creativity, growth, and possibility? It's the rich mindset, the mindset that believes in abundance, that knows there's always more out there. Now, I want you to think about your own life. Where are you operating from scarcity? Where are you letting fear hold you back because you believe there's not enough? And how would things change if you shifted into a mindset of abundance? What would happen if you started believing that there is more than enough success, happiness, and wealth to go around, and that you are fully deserving of all of it? The truth is, the world is abundant. There is more than enough for everyone. But the question is, are you open to receiving it? Are you willing to let go of the fear, the belief in scarcity, and step into a mindset that knows that everything you want is possible? Because when you do, when you start living with a rich mindset, you'll find that the opportunities, the resources, and the success you've been looking for have been there all along. You just needed to open your mind to see them. I want to ask you something that goes right to the heart of how you live your life. When you face a setback, do you tell yourself, I'm just not good enough? Or do you ask, how can I become better? That small shift in thinking is what makes all the difference. It's the difference between a fixed mindset that keeps you stuck in place and a growth mindset that propels you forward, even in the face of challenges. So many of us live with the belief that who we are right now is who we'll always be, that our abilities, our talents, our intelligence, it's all set in stone. We get comfortable in that belief, and in that comfort, we resist change. The person you are right now is only a fraction of who you can become. You are not limited to who you think you are, and your potential is far greater than you can imagine. If you allow yourself to grow, are you stuck in the idea of who you think you are, or are you open to the person you can become? That's what we're talking about when we discuss growth versus fixed mindset. Rich mindset is one that believes in growth, that knows we are constantly evolving, constantly learning, and constantly capable of more. But a poor mindset is fixed. It holds on to the belief that things are the way they are, and that change is something to fear, not embrace. Let me share something with you. I've met so many people who've come to me and said, I just can't do it. I've tried, and I've failed. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not talented enough. What if that failure is not a reflection of your limits, but simply feedback? What if it's not about whether you're good enough right now, but about how much you're willing to grow? You see, people with a growth mindset look at failure differently. They don't see it as a final verdict on their abilities or their potential. Instead, they see it as a message that says, here's what you need to work on. They understand that failure is just feedback. It's not a stop sign. It's a stepping stone. But people with a fixed mindset, they fear failure. They see it as proof that they're not enough. And so they avoid it at all cost. They stick to their comfort zones because stepping outside of that is too risky. What if they fail? What if they find out they're not as good as they hoped? So what are you putting off right now? What have you been telling yourself you'll do someday when the time is right? What if you started today, right now? What if you stopped waiting for the perfect conditions and trusted that you'll figure it out as you go? Action doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. It can be small, it can be simple, but it needs to happen. People with a rich mindset take consistent small actions, and over time, those actions lead to big results. But people with a poor mindset wait. They wait for everything to line up perfectly. And in the meantime, life passes them by. There is no right time. The right time is now. The moment you decide to take action, you've already set yourself apart. You've already begun to create the momentum that will carry you forward. And the more you act, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more opportunities you see. And the more opportunities you see, the richer your life becomes. Remember, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is action, not perfection, not the right timing, just action. So I leave you with this. What's one thing you can do right now, today, to move forward? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. Because once you start, you'll realize that taking action is the most powerful thing you can do to create the life you want. Let's talk about how you're spending your time and energy. Think about it for a moment. Are you investing in yourself, in your growth, in the person you are becoming? Or are you seeking quick hits of pleasure that may feel good in the moment but leave you empty in the long run. Now let's get real here. We all love comfort. We all love those moments where we get to relax, unwind, and feel good. But the question I want you to ask yourself is this: are you investing in your future, or are you only focused on the present moment? The difference between a rich mindset and a poor mindset can often be found in how we answer that question. People with a rich mindset see self-investment as one of the most important things they can do. They understand that every book they read, every new skill they learn, every moment spent improving their physical or mental health is not just about today, it's about creating a better tomorrow. They know that investing in themselves is the foundation for a life of purpose, fulfillment, and yes, even material success. And on the other hand, people with a poor mindset tend to focus on what feels good right now. They reach for instant gratification, whether it's in the form of entertainment, comfort, or distractions. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently wrong with enjoying yourself. We all need balance in life. But if you find yourself constantly reaching for things that give you a quick burst of satisfaction but no long-term value, then you might be missing out on something bigger. Do you spend time and money on things that will grow your mind, expand your potential, and push you toward your goals? Or do you spend on things that give you comfort but no lasting benefit? Think about it. Are you investing in your future, or are you indulging in the present, hoping that somehow the future will take care of itself? The truth is, a rich mindset values self-investment because it understands that growth is a process. It's about playing the long game, not looking for shortcuts. People with this mindset know that the work they put in today, even if it doesn't yield immediate results, will pay off in ways they can't yet imagine. Whether it's studying, practicing, saving, or simply taking care of their health, they know that every small investment adds up over time. But the poor mindset, it's all about now. It seeks immediate rewards, instant pleasure, and avoids anything that might take time or effort. It's the mindset that says, I'll start tomorrow, or I deserve this right now. It's a mindset that leaves you chasing temporary highs instead of lasting fulfillment. The richest people I've met, not just in terms of money, but in terms of their lives, their happiness, their purpose, they all have one thing in common. They prioritize investing in themselves. They read, they learn, they surround themselves with people who challenge and inspire them. They don't just spend their time on things that entertain them. They spend their time on things that elevate them. And here's the thing. When you invest in yourself, you start to see returns that go beyond what you can imagine. Investing in your health gives you energy, clarity, and vitality. Investing in your education opens doors to opportunities you didn't even know existed. Investing in your personal growth allows you to overcome challenges that once seemed impossible. On the flip side, when we indulge in distractions, when we seek comfort over growth, we stay stuck. We might feel good for a moment, but over time, we realize that nothing has changed. We're still in the same place, still facing the same problems, still feeling unfulfilled. That's the trap of self-indulgence. It feels like progress, but it's just a pause, a delay in the life you truly want. Are you investing in your future, or are you indulging in distractions? Are you making choices that bring you closer to your goals, or are you settling for what feels easy right now? People with a rich mindset are willing to delay gratification because they know that what they're working toward is far greater than any quick fix. They understand that the most valuable things in life take time, whether it's building a career or a relationship or a sense of self-worth, or invest today, so they can live richly tomorrow. When you start investing in yourself, you don't have to wait years to feel the benefits. The act of self-investment itself brings a sense of purpose, of direction, of progress. When you know that you're working towards something meaningful, even the small steps feel significant. You start to feel richer in your day-to-day life because you know you're growing, evolving, and moving toward your highest potential. So what does self-investment look like for you? It's different for everyone. Maybe it's taking the time to read a book that challenges your thinking. Maybe it's learning a new skill, saving a little more each month, or simply taking care of your body through exercise and good nutrition. Maybe it's surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you instead of those who drain your energy. Self-investment isn't about spending money. It's about how you spend your time, your energy, and your attention. Are you putting those precious resources into things that will help you grow, or are you spending them on things that leave you feeling empty? The rich mindset understands that personal growth is the key to every other kind of success. It's the foundation. Without it, any external success is hollow and unsustainable. But when you prioritize self-investment, everything else falls into place. You become the kind of person who attracts opportunities, who creates value, who lives a life that is rich in every sense of the word. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about one thing you can do to invest in yourself today. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's reading for 15 minutes. Maybe it's signing up for a course you've been putting off. Maybe it's simply deciding to spend less time on things that don't serve you and more time on things that will move you forward. Remember, every small step counts. Every time you choose to invest in yourself, you're telling the world and yourself that you're worth it. And that's where the real wealth comes, not from what you have, but from who you're becoming. So are you ready to start investing in yourself? Because I promise you the returns will be greater than anything you can imagine. You are your greatest asset. And when you understand that, you realize that true wealth is within your reach, not because of what you have, but because of who you are growing to become. Let me ask you something. How do you start your day? Do you wake up feeling grateful for the simple fact that you've been given another day to live, to experience, to grow? Or do you find yourself immediately thinking about what's wrong? What didn't go right yesterday? What's missing in your life? What's stressing you out? The way you answer that question says a lot about your mindset. A rich mindset, one that leads to true abundance, begins with gratitude. It's not just a cliche or a feel-good exercise. It's a powerful shift in perspective that changes. On the other hand, a poor mindset, one that keeps you stuck, is rooted in complaint. It's focused on what's lacking, what isn't going right, and all the reasons why life is unfair. How often do you complain about your circumstances? Do you catch yourself thinking about what's not going well in your life? Maybe it's your job, your finances, your relationships, or even the little inconveniences throughout the day. The mind that fixates on complaints will always find more things to complain about. It's a vicious cycle. And the more you focus on what's wrong, the more you see what's wrong. But here's the truth, and I want you to really let this sink in. What you focus on grows. If you focus on lack, if you focus on what you don't have, guess what? You're going to attract more reasons to feel unsatisfied, more reasons to feel like life isn't giving you what you deserve. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The poor mindset lives in this space of constant dissatisfaction, always chasing something that seems out of reach. How often do you pause to appreciate the blessings in your life? I'm not talking about the grand, dramatic moments, although those matter too. But the simple things, the fact that you have air in your lungs, that you woke up today, that you have people who care about you, even if it's just one person, that you've been given the gift of life right here, right now. Gratitude is a powerful force, my friends. It's not just about being polite or saying thank you when someone holds the door for you. It's a way of living. It's a choice you make every single day to focus on what's right, to notice what's good, and to appreciate what you have, no matter how much or how little that may be. The rich mindset knows this. It knows that gratitude attracts more abundance. It knows that when you are thankful for what you have, you open yourself up to receive even more. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a state of gratitude, life seems to flow better? Things seem to fall into place. Opportunities appear. You feel more at peace, more joyful, and more connected to the people around you. That's no accident. Gratitude creates a kind of magnetic field that draws more goodness into your life. When you are thankful for what you have, you are telling the universe, I am ready for more. On the other hand, when you're stuck in complaint mode, when all you can see are the things that aren't working, you close yourself off. You block the flow of abundance. You're telling the universe, I don't have enough. And guess what? It responds by showing you more of the same. More reasons to feel like you're lacking, more reasons to feel like things aren't going your way. So how do you shift from a mindset of complaint to one of gratitude? It's simpler than you might think. It starts with awareness. Start by noticing how often you complain, whether it's out loud or in your own mind. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your head when something doesn't go as planned. Are you quick to blame? Quick to see the negative? Quick to say, why is this happening to me? Now, what if you flip that script? What if, instead of complaining, you asked yourself, what can I be grateful for in this moment? Even in the midst of challenges, there is always something to appreciate. Maybe it's the lesson you're learning. Maybe it's the strength you're gaining. Maybe it's simply the fact that you're still standing, still here, still moving forward. When you shift your focus to gratitude, everything changes. It doesn't mean you ignore the difficulties in your life. It doesn't mean you pretend everything is perfect. It means that you choose to focus on the good, even when things are hard. It means you look for the silver lining, even when the sky is cloudy. And that shift, my friends, is what transforms a poor mindset into a rich one. Let me share a little story with you. I once met a man who had lost everything, his business, his home, his savings. He could have easily fallen into a mindset of complaint, focusing on all the things that had gone wrong. And for a while, he did. He was angry, bitter, and full of blame. But one day, something shifted in him. He could continue to focus on everything he had lost, or he could start being grateful for what he still had. His health, his family, the opportunity to rebuild. The moment he chose gratitude, his life began to change. He started to see new opportunities, doors that had been closed started to open, and slowly but surely, he rebuilt his life. It wasn't easy and it didn't happen overnight. But that shift in perspective from complaint to gratitude was the catalyst for everything else. So I ask you, you start your day with gratitude, or do you start by thinking about what's wrong? Because how you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up with a heart full of gratitude, you carry that energy with you throughout the day. You see things differently. You respond to challenges with grace. You attract more of what you want and less of what you don't. If you're not used to practicing gratitude, start small. Every morning before you even get out of bed, think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe it's the fact that you have a warm bed to sleep in. Maybe it's the sound of birds outside your window. Maybe it's the simple fact that you've been given another day to live. Whatever it is, let that feeling of gratitude fill you up. And when you find yourself slipping into complaint mode, stop and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? It's a simple question, but it can transform your entire day. Remember, gratitude is the key to unlocking abundance. The rich mindset understands this, and it lives in a state of appreciation. It knows that the more you focus on what you have, the more you attract what you desire. So, choose gratitude, my friends. Choose to see the good, to focus on what's right, and to appreciate the blessings in your life. Because when you do, you open the door to a life of true abundance, true fulfillment, and true happiness. Let me ask you a question. When a problem shows up in your life, where does your mind go first? Do you immediately start thinking about everything that's wrong? Do you find yourself consumed by how difficult or unfair the situation is? Or do you begin to look for ways to fix it, to move through it, to solve it? This is an important distinction. You see, the mindset that shapes your approach to problems determines whether you stay stuck or whether you grow. A poor mindset gets stuck in the problem, focusing on the obstacles, on all the reasons why something won't. It sees the problem as something overwhelming, something that keeps you in place, immobilized by fear or frustration. It's the mindset that says, this is too hard, or why does this always happen to me? But a rich mindset approaches problems in a completely different way. It doesn't ignore the challenges, but it doesn't let them be the end of the story either. A rich mindset focuses on solutions. It looks at the same situation, the same obstacle, and asks, what can I do about this? How can I make this better? The rich mindset isn't afraid of problems because it knows that every problem comes with a solution. Every difficulty is an opportunity to find a new way forward. But think about this. When you're faced with a problem, do you spend more time thinking about what's wrong or about how to fix it? This question is simple, but it reveals so much about how you think. Are you solution-oriented, or do you get stuck in the problem? I want you to reflect on a time when something didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a challenge at work, a relationship issue, or a personal setback. How did you respond? Did you find yourself going over and over the problem in your mind, worrying about it, stressing about it, feeling like there was no way out? Or did you stop, take a breath, and start thinking about what you could do to move forward? You see, focusing on the problem doesn't get you anywhere. It just keeps you in a loop of frustration and anxiety. The more you focus on what's wrong, the bigger the problem feels. It's like staring at a wall and convincing yourself that there's... But what if instead of staring at the wall, you started looking for a door? What if you shifted your energy from worrying about the problem to finding the solution? This is what the rich mindset does. It acknowledges the problem, but it doesn't stay there. It immediately shifts to asking, what can I do about this? And in doing so, it opens up a world of possibilities. Solutions don't always come easily or instantly, but they come to those who look for them. Let me share something with you. I once worked with a man who had hit a major roadblock in his career. His business wasn't doing well, and he was facing financial difficulties. When we first sat down to talk, all he could do was talk about. He was so focused on what wasn't working that he couldn't see a way out. Every sentence began with, the problem is, and it kept him stuck. What can you do to improve this situation? At first, he resisted. He had a list of reasons why nothing would work, why the obstacles were too big. But as we kept talking, I kept bringing him back to solutions. Little by little, he started shifting his perspective. Instead of seeing all the reasons why things wouldn't work, he started seeing small steps he could take to improve his situation. And guess what? Those small steps led to bigger steps. Solutions started to appear. His business began to recover, not because the problems disappeared, but because his mindset shifted from problem-focused to solution-focused. This is the power of a rich mindset. It doesn't ignore the challenges, but it doesn't get stuck in them either. It keeps moving forward, always looking for ways to improve, to adapt, to overcome. It understands that no matter how big the problem is, there is always a solution. Now, I want you to think about a problem you're facing right now. It could be something big or it could be something small. Ask yourself, am I focusing on the problem or am I focusing on the solution? If you're stuck in the problem, how can you shift your focus? What's one small step you can take to start moving toward a solution? The truth is, life is full of problems. They're not going away. But you have a choice in how you respond to them. You can let them overwhelm you, or you can use them as opportunities to grow. The rich mindset always chooses growth. It knows that every obstacle is a stepping stone. Every challenge is a chance to become better, stronger, more resourceful. So here we are, at the heart of it all. After everything we've discussed today, the way you approach life, your beliefs about yourself, your relationship with challenges and abundance, it all comes down to one simple truth. The choice is yours. It's not about the circumstances you were born into. It's not about what's happened to you in the past. It's not even about how much money is in your bank account right now. The rich versus poor mindset isn't about wealth or privilege. It's about how you choose to see the world. And that choice is available to you right now, in this very moment. Think about it. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every perspective you adopt is shaping your reality. And that means if you want your life to change, it begins with changing how you think. It's not an external thing. It's not something you're waiting on or something you'll have once certain conditions are met. It's about what's happening in your mind right now. Let me ask you, what mindset are you choosing today? Are you choosing to see the world through a lens of scarcity, focusing on what's missing, on what you don't have? Or are you choosing to believe that you already have everything you need to start moving? Can you shift your focus from the limitations to the possibilities? Because the truth is, the possibilities are endless. But you can't see them when you're stuck in a mindset of lack and fear. When you choose a rich mindset, you open yourself up to abundance. You begin to see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. You start to believe in your own ability to grow, to learn, to create solutions where none seem to. Now, I know it's not always easy. Life throws challenges at all of us. There are moments when it feels like everything is working against you, but in those moments, you still have a choice. You can choose to be a victim of your circumstances, or you can choose to be the creator of your life. You can decide right now that you will no longer let your mindset hold you back. You have the power within you to change everything, but it starts here. It starts with what you choose to believe about yourself and the world around you. Do you believe that you're worthy of success? Do you believe that there's enough love, joy, and abundance in the world for you? Or do you believe that you have to struggle, that life is against you, that there's never enough? Which mindset will you choose? And what would your life look like if you started thinking like someone who already has everything they need? What if you started acting like the person who knows they have the power to create their own reality instead of waiting for life to hand it? The beautiful thing is you can start right now. You don't have to wait for anything to change externally. It begins within. The power to shift your mindset, to embrace the rich mindset is already yours. You just need to make the decision. So I encourage you from this moment on to start thinking like the person you want to become, to start believing in the abundance that's available to you, to start seeing problems as opportunities, challenges as stepping stones, and every single day as a chance to grow and expand. This is your life, and you have the power to shape it. The choice is yours, and it always has been. So what will you choose? Will you continue to live with a mindset that limits you? Or will you step into the mindset of abundance, possibility, and growth? I believe in you. I know that everything you need is already within you. And I know that if you choose to shift your mindset